Hey everyone, I'm Puri. Welcome to Purology. Today I'm going to be giving you my one-day impression and review of the Valve Steam Deck Q3 Edition 512GB version. I pre-ordered this thing so long ago, I literally cannot remember when I reserved it. I know it was over a year ago, so I've been waiting for this thing for a while, and I haven't really thought about it that much until I got a notification recently that it was available for order. So it was a nice surprise to get that notification, and here we are. The first thing I wanted to note, I'm always paying attention to the packaging on any premium product, and Valve did some pretty cool things here. If you look on the packaging itself, there's an icon here that pays homage to one of their most popular games, Portal. And that's a picture of the weighted companion cube from that game. I didn't know what that was, so I looked it up actually, and I found out that it was a Portal Easter egg on the packaging.
This weighted companion cube will accompany you through the test chamber. Please take care of it.
Some other funny stuff. They list all different places someone might be using their Steam Deck in different languages. If you look here in the middle, it says in a test chamber. And then down here it says in the lab. These are references to Half-Life and Gordon Freeman.
They're waiting for you, Gordon, in the test chamber.
So I thought that was pretty funny because I played that game when I was a kid. Another funny one I found was in Korean it says 할머니 댁에서. That means on your grandma's deck. So I thought those were pretty fun things to find on the packaging. Worth noting. So the 512GB version comes with some exclusive accessories that don't come with the other versions. The first thing is this carrying case. It's got the Steam Deck logo on it. It's got a protective clamshell. You can hear that it's pretty solid, so it will provide a lot of shock protection in this case. It's designed specifically for the Steam Deck with cutouts for the analog sticks and the screen here. Inside the case, you will find a microfiber cloth that fits the size of the screen. They also included a pull-out tab, so it's easy to remove the Steam Deck from the case. Another thing that's included is this carrying case for the power block itself, so you can use this to transport it pretty easily along with the carrying case. And you'll have to make sure that it's not getting too wide because it won't fit in the bag. But you'll see here, it all fits in a nice little package and we're ready to travel. One cool touch, white zipper tabs. I always love white accessories. Here is the awesome custom RGB profile theme you get with the Steam Deck 512GB version. So here's the Steam Deck itself. I'm gonna switch it on. I've gone ahead and downloaded some games already. I'm gonna show you some gameplay, but first I'm gonna go over some of the features that I found. First of all, talking about the build quality, the design is very clean. I like how they have these glossy lines dividing the palm rest from the rest of the body. I think it looks very nice. It looks very sleek. The placement of the speakers is nice. The placement of the buttons and the analog sticks it looks very nice, and it's ergonomically placed very well, at least for my hand size. I'm 6'3", I have pretty big hands, and for my hand size at least, it fits me perfectly. I really like the design of the Steam Deck because it looks aesthetically pleasing, but the design also has a purpose. So when I actually rest my hands on the palm rest, it's very comfortable feeling, as well as the curvature of the triggers and the shoulder buttons, along with the placement of the contours on the side of the Steam Deck. If you look at it from the side, it just looks kind of like an Xbox controller. And I think the Xbox controller is the best one so far. I like it better than the PS controller. I don't know about you guys. Tell me in the comments which one you guys prefer, but I'm an Xbox controller guy. I just ordered an Xbox Elite Series 2 actually, so I'll be doing a review on that soon. But anyways, going back to the design, I think it's designed very well. It looks beautiful. Looking from the top, it just looks really premium. The build quality is solid. There's no rattling of any parts at all. If you put some pressure on it, it feels solid and heavy. I think they did very well on the design. The build quality is great. The placement of the buttons is perfect for me. And the analog sticks feel really good. They have good resistance. The buttons feel good when you push them down. This haptic analog pad is really cool and interesting to me. I've never seen anything like this, and I really liked using it in Forza Horizon, as you'll see later. And I'm interested to see how it works in other games. The directional pad, pretty standard, but it works very well. This is also a directional pad, but you put pressure on each area rather than it being discrete. Up, down, left, right. You have different areas where you can put pressure down to give the input. This is a menu button. You have to be in a game for this to do anything. The Steam button is like the home button or like the PS button on a PlayStation. It lets you look at your game library. You can go to the store. You can check your friends and chat with them. If you have any media on here, you can go to downloads, and then you can do all your settings from here. And then there's a power menu as well. Pretty standard. A is to select things and B is to go back in menus. There's also a touch screen. So you can actually touch the buttons or use your hand to navigate. The touchscreen is very responsive and it works very well. There's a context menu button over here that, depending on what you're selected on, will have different functions. It's sort of like right-clicking on a PC. So lastly is a button with the 3 dots. It's kind of like pulling down from the top of your screen with an Android phone. Gives you your notifications, access to quick settings, and other features that you might commonly need quick access to. So here I have my notifications, recent chats, quick settings like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, night mode, rumble, and haptics. Then a performance menu that allows you to change different settings on the Steam Deck to change the performance to favor either battery life or visual quality. So you can also have an overlay that shows you FPS and other performance metrics depending on what level you choose, and I'll show you each one of those once I go into a game. Lastly is the quick help menu here. So first I'm going to show NBA 2K22. I've gone ahead and installed a few of my games here. So I'm going to show you some of these games and how the Steam Deck performs on each of them.
Life is good. Life is good for sure.
Any critique of yourself in the video game? Anything we could do better?
I'll just... 2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA. Hi everybody, time to get into it. NBA action on 2K Sports. Welcome everyone, courtside with 2 ex-NBA stars, Grant Hill and Brent Berry. I'm Brian Anderson. We've got Allie LaForce on the sidelines tonight as well. It's the Toronto Raptors and the Miami Heat. And so off the tip, it's...
So I'm going to turn on the performance overlay. And when I first turn it on, it will show just an FPS counter. If I go to level 2, it's going to show you CPU and GPU percentage, battery percentage, as well as how much time's remaining, and a few more metrics in terms of the performance. So you can see frame time and a few other things there. If I go to level 3, it's going to show some VRAM and RAM readings. And if you go to level 4, it's going to show you even more information. on each CPU core, some info on the fan and FSR, frame count. So you can get pretty detailed on the metrics. I'm gonna leave it at just FPS. And by default, these performance settings are set to frame rate limit at 60. The refresh rate is 60 for the screen. Half rate shading is available if you want to save power. You can also set a TDP limit, and manual GPU clock control is available as well. You can also have a scaling filter. I'm going to leave this all on default for now to show you the performance stock.
Toronto to continue to get better. Here's Wade. And he lobs it up. And it's James with the jam.
LeBron gets behind the eyes of the defense for the highlight
The
reel.
graphics look really clear.
About a minute into the first. Now the Raptors with it.
The controls are responsive.
Lowry with it.
The control scheme is the exact same as if you were using a PS controller or an Xbox controller, so it's very familiar feeling.
And slam dunk by James.
Nice to see LeBron have a straight line drive. Somebody fell asleep there.
The importance of this in terms of developing his teammates.
You can see the detail there. This game looks really good on this.
Out in front, but at least they're tied up.
Pass to Bosch. And he parries his first look. And setting the tempo with an assertive move. Like, pass to Leonard. And a foul called on the way up.
If you want to close a game, you can hit the Steam button and hit exit game. Okay, now we're gonna try some Forza Horizon. If we go down to graphics, it's on the low preset right now, it looks like, by default. And then on video, it's on 1280 by 720. The Steam Deck screen is a 1280 by 800, so I'm gonna try on the full resolution first. VSync is on, full screen mode is on. Motion blur is on short, so let's see how that does. Okay, we've got Forza Horizon 5 here. The frame rate is at 60 right now. Let's see if it holds. Frame rate is dropping into the 40s. Feeling a little choppy in game. Still playable, but it's not ideal, I'd say. The input, there is a little bit of input lag when the frame rate drops. Let's see if we can improve performance at all. I just turned on half rate shading. I forced the GPU clock to be at max. And then I'm going to turn on the scaling filter. Definitely feels smoother. Staying in the 50s, high 50s and 60s in terms of frame rate, and the gameplay feels a lot smoother. In terms of visuals, it's still very good. So this pad over here, it's an analog haptic feedback pad. It's really interesting. I really like the concept of this, and it works really well in a game like this where you can control the view. Because instead of you having to kind of roll this stick around, you can just put your hand down, you can just put your thumb down at a certain point and it's always in that fixed location. So for NBA, I didn't have to turn down any of the settings, but for Forza, I did have to adjust some of the settings in order to get maximum performance out of the Steam Deck, and I would assume that that's going to eat at battery performance pretty heavily. Already from setting that, I lost 2% in the few minutes I was playing. So there's Forza Horizon. Next I'm going to try Batman Arkham Knight. Okay, I'm running at 50, about 60 frames when I'm looking up here. And then when we got the cop cars in the back, it drops down to 40s. We'll see how it feels in game. Wow, it feels very smooth. I don't remember how to play this, but yeah. Okay, graphics look really good. Very clean, very crisp. Oops.
First, I need to investigate the compound. I should investigate the facility first. Then I can come back for the car. Whoever this guy is, he's assembled an army. I need a name.
All right. We've got something here from a black ops team operating in Venezuela. They discovered a hidden training facility housing soldiers bearing the same insignia. There's nothing but speculation on their commander, though. The only thing sources agree on is his name. The Arkham Knight.
The Arkham Knight. Hack into their comms. I need to know what they're planning.
Anything else?
There's a crew of Ace Chemicals workers left on site. They'll be able to help us track down Scarecrow and locate his bomb. I need to find them.
Each worker will be carrying a unique ID chip.
If I can access their personnel records, I'll be able to track them.
There's a security terminal in a booth near your location. Try there.
There are 5 soldiers, each one armed and dangerous. Before I can access that terminal, I'll need to take them down.
Listen up! Scarecrow tells me the reaction is nearly complete. Final evacuation of this facility will begin in T-minus 30 minutes.
So it started. Sure looks like a part of
Next up is Devil May Cry 5. I think a game like this is suited very well for the Steam Deck. It's on 1280 by 800, 60 Hz. Mostly ultra settings for everything. And I'm gonna see how it does. Looks really good, really clean. Wow, that's impressive. Running very smoothly. Game looks really good. This kind of game is perfect for the Steam Deck. NBA was really good for it too. Okay, now I'm gonna show some remote play. So I'm streaming this from my PC. It's running at 3840 by 2160. And the last thing I did was the last test I did was with competitive settings. I'm going to turn everything up just to see how it does streaming all this over there. Okay, it's at 20 FPS. Unplayable. The resolution might be too high to pack onto this small screen. So I'm going to try lowering this down. Still at 21 FPS.
Phasing. Maybe something good this way.
So I'll be looking for ways to improve this kind of performance, but off the bat, this is what I'm getting. So it looks like a game where ping is important. It's probably not going to be ideal for remote play. Still looks pretty clean. Just unplayable. Okay, so I'll see if there's a way to improve performance on that. For now, that's not something I would consider for remote play. Let's see if this does any better. I'm getting 7 FPS right now. I think I left it on high settings. Let's see. Yeah. Try this. Alright, that's more like it. Okay, so I lowered some of the settings down and now we're at a steady 60. Looks really good. Whoa. Looks really good on the Steam Deck. Okay. So what you can do in this case... Oh no. Okay. Well. Looks like you'd have to spend some time mapping some keys to play a game like this, but as you can see, it runs very well, running at a steady 60 frames. This is a very cool feature in my opinion. and something worth exploring. Well, as most Steam Deck users will probably have a gaming PC as well. So overall, it's only been 1 day since I've had it, but I'm very impressed with it. The build quality is on par with what I would expect for a premium product. The design is beautiful and functional. And to me, when the design is functional and beautiful, it makes the product feel very evolved and substantial in your hands. In terms of battery life, it's about what I was expecting when I turn up the performance. As I spend more time with it, I'm going to mess with settings to increase battery life. I travel fairly often and I'm looking forward to taking this on trips with me. After I get to spend a little more time with it, I'm going to do another follow-up review and give you my impressions at that time. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and take it easy until next time.